Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And I'm just noticing some of my cards are flipped the other way. Whoops, how did that happen? Okay, so for this week's reading, I'm going to be using the Paulina Tarot. And I'm just shuffling the cards, and my intention with this reading is to get kind of a bird's eye view of the week ahead and what kinds of themes are going to be coming up for us this coming week, what kind of challenges are going to present themselves, what kind of opportunities. And we have Christmas happening on Tuesday, is it, I think? So let's see what lies in store for us. Okay, so the first card is going to represent Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. Whoops. Okay, so here we have the Six of Swords for the beginning of the week, which is when Christmas happens. Six of Swords, this is an interesting card to get here. Six of Swords is often what I think of as a card of transition. So it will come up when we're sort of in between, either in between jobs, in between like places to live, in between relationships, or just in between phases of our life. And it really, it comes up when our lives are in flux and when there's a lot of changes happening, a lot of change underfoot. So this could be changes that are obvious, like changing jobs or moving or whatever, or it could be more subtle kinds of change. So changes that are happening within you, like you're, becoming less interested in certain things and more interested in other things, or you're finally kind of moving away from a certain way of thinking and doing things and adopting new habits. So this is definitely a card of flux and change and movement. And as we get into the middle of the week, so Wednesday and Thursday, we've got, nice, King of Wands. And King of Wands really exudes a certain level of confidence and worldliness. So while the Six of Swords is about making changes and moving forward, it lacks that confidence and that feeling of being really self-assured. And so the King of Wands brings that to this reading. So by the middle of the week, I think that you're going to be more confident about some of the choices that you're making. You're going to have a better idea of what direction you want to go in. And you're also going to be more tapped into your specific strengths and the things that you're really good at. I'm just going to look at this card close up. I find this deck is really sometimes challenging to work with because it's so detailed. I just want to look at all the little details in the card, and there's lots going on in this card, but nothing in particular standing out to me. Okay, so let's move on to the last card. This is the card for the end of the week, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Aha! And here we have Judgment. So this is nice. We've got a minor arcana card, we have a major, and a court card. So it's very balanced. So Judgment is really a card of rebirth. And it's interesting that it comes up in the same reading that we get the Six of Swords, because the Six of Swords is really about making changes on perhaps kind of more of a superficial level, whereas the Judgment card is about changes and rebirth happening on a much deeper spiritual level. So this card of Judgment is about growth, it's about moving forward, but it's also about, entering a new era, a new phase. And another way to think of this, you could think of this as like reinventing yourself. But ultimately it's about really growing. And actually I like how it's depicted in this card, because there's a little guy and he's sitting on this flower, and this flower has, if you look at the image, it's like this long stem, and there's like the stem, and then this little flower bit, more of a stem, this little flower bit, more of a stem. And it's almost like these represent little like phases of someone's life, kind of turning points. And so I feel like this is really beautiful how it depicts kind of like you're entering a new era, you're entering a new stage of your life. And another thing that stands out with this image is there's this hourglass figure. And I mean, that makes me think of like a timer, you know, those salt timers. It kind of makes me think of time. And yeah, I don't know what to make of that, but that just really, really stands out to me. Maybe like the time is now. I don't know. Something to do with time. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to zoom out and look at these cards together and see if there's anything else I want to add here. It really feels like this week is going to be a week where, like I said, you're in flux. There's certain changes that are happening. So it's a week of change, yet it doesn't feel chaotic or kind of discombobulated, because you have the King of Wands in the center, and he's really keeping things stable. Like, he just feels like a stable guy who's confident in and of himself. And it's almost like this week you gain more of a confidence in living your life from a place of pursuing the things that you are passionate about, the things that really light you up and set your soul on fire. Whereas before, you maybe were motivated by practicality, by fear, by other things, or you know, putting other people's needs and well-being before your own. You know, there was other things that you were focused on and other things that dictated the decisions you make. But it's like this week, it's about paying attention to what you're passionate about and what really, you know, gets you jazzed up, and putting your intentions or your attention on those things. And I feel like there's something else I want to add to this reading. So just give me a moment. I'm just going to look at these cards again. And as I gaze at these cards, I want to invite you to do the same. So look at these cards with an open mind and notice, is there any particular symbol, or, you know, is there something that stands out to you? What are these cards saying to you? What are, you know, when these cards speak to you, what is it that they want to tell you? To me, it feels like this week is a week of progress, and it will be an exciting week. And I wish I could tie it in with Christmas better, but I don't know. I'm not getting any like Christmassy vibes from these cards. I just feel like, yeah, I feel like it's about flux and flow and change. One thing I want to say about the Six of Swords, though, is that sometimes this card can come up when we wish we were somewhere else. So when we feel like it's like that grass is greener on the other side mentality, like we're here, but we wish we were over there because it looks better from this vantage point. So that's something to be aware of, and that's something that might come up for you. And I think focusing on just being present in the now and accepting how things are now. You can accept how things are now and be happy with what you have, without feeling like you can't make changes. Like you can implement changes in your life and be happy with where you are, if that makes sense, right? Because I think sometimes we're always striving for more or better, and sometimes when you do that, it can make you feel dissatisfied with where you are right now. So I think the challenge also this week, while these changes and everything are happening, and all this growth that's happening, it's not so much about bettering yourself or getting to a better place. It's more about, I think, being grounded, confident, and comfortable with where you are right now. And you can always move forward and make changes and all that, but you don't have to feel dissatisfied with where you are right now. And I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else that's jumping out at me, but as always, I invite you to add your own 2 cents, and, you know, leave a comment if you feel called to. So thank you so much for watching this reading. I hope you found it at least interesting, maybe even helpful. And I wish you a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year as well. Okay, so thanks for watching. And and if you're interested in learning more about tarot and tarot card reading, you can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com, and I'll put a link to that in the description box below this video. And I also have a really fun Christmas spread on my blog that you guys might like, so I'll put a link to that as well in the description box. Okay,